This one's been a long time in the making because I've really been thinking about what is like really important to show and what's like sort of important to show, because there's a lot of stuff. But Haven is more a map of like general map knowledge than it is a map of Omen knowledge. So while I'm going to show a lot of cool Omen stuff, you need to keep in mind that unlike like Breeze or Icebox or even Pearl to an extent, where those playbooks are really giving you like winning playstyles, this Omen playbook is more going to give you like, you know, a good way to play, but you have to be very active on Haven and dynamic. You need to be trying to understand how the enemy team's playing. If you enjoy the content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join my official Discord over at discord.gg/woohoojin. Here you can enter free raffles to win free VOD review live on stream. You can also support me with a premium membership, which unlocks access to private VCT restreams, professional player analysis, shared professional strategy channels, and much more. Enjoy the video. On Haven, you always want to try and hit a bomb site that has one player or less. And I see people messing this up all the time, where like they'll go A as 5 and have no control elsewhere, and then they're stuck hitting 3 or 4 people on A. And that's just not a good strategy. We've got a couple ways to play on Omen. Usually Omen will end up contesting space away from his team on like equal buy rounds. Ways we can do that, like if the team's going A, you can either do it aggressively or passively. Aggressively, there's TPs like this one. You aim above the box, you jump, TP grass. You can also do that from window this way. And you can play like this way in your garage and control this space, because when your team's hitting A, these other players are generally going to try to like be pushing out. So I usually like to combine this type of play with a smoke like top C like this. And that smoke makes it really awkward for this C player to just push C, right? Because from their POV, they see this and they're unlikely to just walk through like this without having more information. So they'll either throw like a flash, a blind, a recon, and you'll hear that as the slow lurker here. And the reason we're doing this while our team hits A is so if they run into 3 people, we can comfortably call them off to rotate, because you know that there's not these weird flankers. And I'm sure it's all happened to you guys on Haven. You've hit A, you cancel because they're stacked, you go rotate, and then you die to somebody in your spawn, or you die to somebody in this corner, or you die to somebody like here, or you die to somebody there, or somebody here. You know what I'm saying? You can't give up map control on Haven on these equal buy rounds. Haven requires slow play most of the time. You can't just rush on Haven, and that's really difficult in the lower ranks. I'm going to show you how to rush in the event that your team is, but just know that that's not super good most of the time. I like to do those types of lurks mid, or on occasion I like to lurk C real slow. Like I'll throw that top smoke and I'll either threaten that I'm going to be on this side somewhere. Sometimes I come up on these boxes and just wait, like real passive. The idea is if my team hits A, then I'm going to try and do like a late mid lurk through a link to like this type of position. So I'm lurking a lot on Haven. I will go with the team though. It's all about like mixing up the pacing. The point of the lurk isn't to do it every round, right? The point of the lurk is to make the enemy team worry that you're doing that. And let me try and explain. Let's say we're halfway into our offensive half and you've gotten 2 big rounds on lurk. The enemy team isn't going to flank and take map control nearly as fast as they would have if you didn't lurk at all this game and didn't get kills. And that's what we're aiming for. We're not aiming for killing them every time they flank. We're aiming for them worrying and spending time clearing angles like that, walking quietly, clearing angles like this. Every second they spend having to clear this stuff is time that we can be hitting A successfully with our team. Okay, so for A, the smoke pacings matter a lot. Usually this tower smoke has to come first because it's the angle that our players get exposed to first from both angles, right? So the heaven smoke, I generally just throw it here, but there is this mix-up smoke that goes here on this second ledge. Notice the smoke blocks this side of heaven, okay? I believe you can actually, sorry, I trolled you. It's the first step up, yeah. It blocks heaven there, and if we go short, you can see heaven is also blocked. This mix-up smoke is good, especially if your entry's dead, because you can TP into it, right? And then you can get like real crazy. You can try and get into that corner if you want. You can just TP hell, or you can just play in the smoke. Really useful if your team doesn't have an entry, they're dead, and you need to be the entries. So we're hitting A, we're going short with our buddy. Clear these. Maybe we fight somebody. Okay, we're smoking. Hook on that lower step. We smoke CT. Then we come up. You know, you can flash 3D and you TP out. You can TP on the ground or up on top. Then you can swing and take fights. The more normal smoke, of course, being the heaven smoke, and you come main. So the reason we come main because of this flash. So this flash you need to ping. Notice how off I was when I was just trying to wing it. You ping in the middle of backside here, and you need that ping so you know the right height. You aim at about head height on that ping, and you're gonna actually step backwards and throw this flash, which seems counterintuitive. It's so slow. The slow flash is actually better here because let's imagine somebody's short, which is one of the angles getting flashed. When that flash is coming at them, regardless of the speed of it, this guy cannot dodge it. Okay? He can't dodge that flash, which means if the flash hits him a bit slower, the effective duration for which he's crowd controlled is longer. While the flash is coming at him, he's also nervous because he gets that indicator. So the flash moving a bit slower actually effectively crowd controls this player for a longer time. For B, I really like this one smoke, a link, and taking space. And I like looking for this secondary smoke topside to TP into. Usually the enemy team's going to smoke like front side here, and it'll let you get up nice and close and run a TP like this. And you can be real patient in this smoke and try to find the right time to peek out and kill people. It's really hard for them to spam this smoke. Look at how wide this area is. I'm sure you've all tried to like spam a spike diffuser and failed, right? And that's just like an effective area this wide. Your effective area up here is huge. So the odds that you're dying in that smoke from spam, really low, really low. So you can TP out there and threaten a ton of space really aggressively. You're hitting B. Okay, so there'll be a smoke mid. You just come up here. And now I play real slow up here all the time. And just looking on the mini map indicators, you can even call the team off and they might not think that you're up here. Okay, I don't like planting B too often, especially in solo queue. What I really like calling for is after like I take space B is the whole team to push through A link together. Usually there'll be like 1 or 2 people here and they'll get like mowed down by the death ball, and then you can just plant A. And this is the best A plant when you have full sight. You plant in this corner and it's open to heaven, open to these main and short angles. It's really good. For hitting C, there's 2 different styles. There's the like all C long style, and then there's the split, right? And those have 2 different smoke patterns. For the all C long, you generally smoke this garage hall first, and you work up with your teammates into cubby, and you're gonna throw this flash along here. And this one is also a backwards flash. Okay, it's a very similar reason. So if they're playing logs and that flash is coming at them, they have to get all the way here or here to not get flashed, and they can't do that fast enough before the flash hits them. And obviously if they come here to dodge the flash, they're dead, right? So to dodge the flash, they have to go way over here, and they can't make it here fast enough regardless. Same idea for these people playing in these angles. They can't get out unless they're playing this angle close here and they come garage. But that was already going to happen regardless of if they got flashed or not. So the flash that we're throwing goes this way. And if we walk forwards when we throw it, so on the left is going to be fast. The total flash travel time, let's call it 1 second. It doesn't actually matter how long it is for me to prove this point. And then the slow flash, let's call the total flash travel time 2 seconds. Okay. And now the total blind time, let's just call it 2 seconds. So once you're hit. So at this point in the flash, when it hits logs, which we've determined is undodgeable, it's taken roughly like 1.8 seconds here to hit them. And here it's taken roughly 0.8 seconds. And the total time at which they're crowd controlled is the blind time plus the travel time. So here, the total effective crowd control time is 3.8 seconds, while here it's only 2.8. Because the flash hit them so much earlier, they'll become unblinded sooner. Does that make sense? Because by the time your jet dashes out to fight this logs guy, they're blind. They're blind. That slow blind has still hit them already. So now they're just blinded longer, okay? So we're milking value out of the flash. If we're all C long, we smoke garage, a little deep like that. We work our way up into cubby with the team. We tell them we're ready to flash. Our jet says, go. You throw that flash, and then you start coming up with her in your smoke UI, okay? So you can come in your smoke UI up here and smoke CT, and you're on site fighting with them. This is really important. I see a lot of Omens throw that flash. They stay cubby, they smoke, and then they come to fight with their team, and their team's already taken all of site. Then we take site, plant the bomb, and there's a million ways to play post plant. The most common way is we try to plant the bomb along this ledge. So we can one-way it like that. Just play C long. That's mostly offensive half. Let's talk about the C split real quick though. So that would be like 2 garage, 3 C long. I usually like being C long still, but I will go garage on occasion. So when I go C long, it's basically the same as what I just showed, except the first smoke goes on this ledge garage. if I can hit it. There we go. It's important it goes on the ledge. It makes it really awkward for them to jump out. And so when we're C long and we throw that smoke, it's the same. Flash, smoke, hit C. When we're garage, it's a little different. So when we're pushing garage with our buddies, I like using this TP, getting this smoke down that I just showed. And then I get close here, mostly to apply pressure and listen. Because I'm going to get there before this guy. And sometimes people aggressively swing this early into the round, like this, to fight this guy. And if you're here for that, you can actually just like run and gun that guy and take your free kill. And now there's two options, and you have to play this by ear. So after you've taken garage, you have to smoke CT for the team. And you can either play up here and control garage, understanding that there's a threat of someone lurking this way on you eventually. You can TP into the smoke and try to play aggressively like this. Or you can come C. I would not recommend coming C. I recommend controlling garage in these types of splits. If you go garage on an eco C split, on eco, I really like contact exploding. So on ecos, I don't like splitting. I like doing something like a smoke up here and playing real slow, taking this space with my team and then exploding out of the smoke on contact. If they weren't in the smoke, we'll flash out at this point. Like we'll get ready to smoke CT and then bam, we're out with like a Phoenix flash or Sky flash or whatever flash we have. If no flash, you know, sucks to be us. Other TPs that are worthy mentions on offense. The moment the round begins, if you just TP out here, you can just walk short on really good timing. During C defaults, if you want to lurk A, TPing across here can apply a lot of pressure on them. And a really good way to hold against these A lurkers while your team's maybe hitting B or C is on this middle ledge. Anywhere on it. The reason the middle ledge is so good is these lurkers will either be looking at the ground or they're going to be looking up on this double ledge. Nobody ever aims for the middle ledge. Oh yeah, when you have Omen ult, moment the round begins, you ult in this corner tower.
My ultimate is ready.
Swing main, you kill this guy, you jump down, and you finish A. You tell your team to rush A. And make sure you learn how to smoke heaven from hell. That's an awkward smoke to throw if you don't know how to throw it. So defense, Omen's best position is C. Because of the long corridor, his flash pairs really well against the long corridor. And the same concept here applies. This is a slow flash. I hope this makes sense now. Because when they're like up here, preparing to come out, this slow flash gives us more effective CC on them, right? So there's two ways to play C. You need to pay attention. They'll either have like a Sofa Dart or a Fade Eye a lot of the time. And if they have that, we need to be ready to break it before it scans us. If they don't have that, a really powerful way to anchor C is to smoke here.
Cover going out.
And just control backside. So against teams with no recon or teams that don't recon backside, you can pay attention to this as you're playing C. This passive smoke here is actually really, really, really good. You don't need front sight control to win the round on this map. When you have backside control, what this does is it allows your teammates to rotate out and just worry about these fights, and you control all of C. They can't really plant the bomb here because your teammates can flood out. You've got backside, and if they try to plant, like there's no way they can hold the site. Now, if they are reconning you really effectively, I like smoking C long a bit deeper here, and I'm gonna try to flash when they flash out, dash out, anything that indicates that they're hitting. I'm gonna try to flash and then either peek, usually around this angle is where I see them on the right side, or I'm gonna flash and try to TP like somewhere weird, like up here. And the final angle I like playing C is against strong pop flashers like Sky, Phoenix. Playing this angle is really good. Because when they're coming C, you throw the smoke. This is presuming that their recon is not that strong. Backside. You hear that flash and you can peek here really effectively. From their POV, they flashed and they're coming out and they're doing this. This is how you clear C, right? You start here, then you look here, and then you look here. And by the time they look there is when you swing. Okay. All right, garage, you pretty much just want to be playing up here. This is super strong. You can get a pick here and chill. If you want to play it more passively, let's say you've got numbers or something, you need to come hold garage. I like playing across on these bags and just holding this way. This is a really strong off angle. If you're feeling yourself or you're on eco, the moment the round begins, toss a slow flash out grass and TP and just kill all of them. All right, when we're playing B, you always want to start the round up on top of the metal box, and you're just gonna hold like window. Alternative angle, you can also play up on this thing to hold window, and it's a bit safer from grass, but that's a double-edged sword. You also don't get info on whether or not they're grass. Well, if you're up here and you see them grass, you're usually safe enough to drop before they kill you, because this grass guy usually is peeking this type of way. They're usually not peeking this type of way unless they're really sus of you. A, there's a lot of good plays. It's important to keep in mind when you're getting rushed A, the strongest thing to do is to high low and hold A short. So you hold here, you have a buddy here. And sometimes your buddy's jet, so they'll be the high one, you'll be the low one. Okay, smokes that are good for holding A involve this one-way smoke, this main smoke, a little deep. You can throw a normal short smoke. And the fancy thing about this one-way smoke is people are conditioned to seeing this as a hold smoke. So what you can actually do, especially on like ecos, this is really powerful, is if the enemy team is like rushing A a lot, or you just have a read, you 3-stack A, you start on this box, and once they're coming A, you smoke yourself off as if it's a supporting smoke from you on B or C. And then you smoke main. And now, after they come out, oops, I didn't mean to drop, sorry. After they come out, you just jump across over here and you try and kill them because they're never going to shoot in that smoke, right? Let me show you a quick clip of this happening. Bro, I got the play. Jake, come up here with me. If they rush A, I'm going to smoke this and we're both going to be in it. Okay. It's faster. You can say. Let's wait. Okay, so this is how the smoke kind of works out. It's really tricky smoke. People never expect this type of play, so it's a really powerful one to go for. And then while we're defending, of course, on, you know, B or C, throwing that smoke for our teammates, totally valid, right? And then we mostly want to be focused on map control. So a lot of the time on Haven, people don't push us, right? Because there's 3 bomb sites. So if we're like playing C and they're not pushing us, our default shouldn't always be to rotate this way. We want to contest space really aggressively on this map and see like whether or not they're contesting it back. A lot of the times, especially in lower ranks, they're not going to be contesting this space back. And you're going to be able to get yourself to like an angle like this. You'll have 3 on A. And you'll know, well, if they hit A, they lose the minigame. If they rotate, look where I am. I'm chilling. You can even, heck, you know, bam, one way. Tons of things. You know, the pattern I just showed. Play in the one way. There's a million options here. You want to contest the space aggressively is the TLDR. Let's say you're playing B. Mix in rounds where you smoke window. And you walk grass. Like this. You fight. Or instead of smoking, you have your op player. Jet or chamber, hold your window and you contest grass. All of this space should be contested in the event that you see nobody and they're 5-stacked somewhere, because then you just get so much value out of that. So we can't play passively on Haven because we're trying to figure out very quickly where they're trying to play. Let's talk about retakes. A retakes, I really like this flash. I'll throw it slow for reasons mentioned before. As my teammates are coming out, I see Omen throw that flash too early all the time. Like the team won't be ready for the retake. You'll throw this flash and then nothing happens. Time it with your teammates going out. Coming Heaven can be really good. Problem with Heaven is you need to have balls. When it's time for the retake, you got to get out there and fight. It can be really effective if you can hit this jump over here because the hell guy won't see you if you do it right. All right, that's mostly the Omen guide. It's pretty much just a Haven guide. You can play like this on most agents, right? Contest space. Don't 5-stack too much on offense. And then I show some utility.